Hey Max, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Hey, yeah, what a crazy number. I should just never come on my phone. I'm like, what the hell is that? It's about 19 freaking numbers, man. What's up?
Tell us something about your role in the early days of Puddle of Mud.
Something about my role. The early days of Puddle, when actually after the big flood and the name, my role really was kind of weird. I grew up together, Wesley and I, and Scotty's brother, and really weird. Sean, the bass player, was my brother's friend. Sean's older than the rest of us.
Yeah.
It was just kind of strange because Sean and my brother were buddies. My brother's like 6 years older than me, and I didn't even know at the time. But my original role was I was a hangout man. They just had the flood and things were kind of picking up. My role was really the money guy, and this is gonna sound horrible, but hey, to anybody that hears this, judge me for whatever you want. But reality is this, man. I was a hustler, and I paid my dues to society. I got in trouble for some stuff, but long story short, my activities helped fund a record and produced some really good music, and I don't regret a bit of it. I have my memories that no one can take those, right? It's all good.
Yeah.
My original role was I was what they call a manager, and I booked the rooms, and I booked cars and travel, and I did basically what a normal management firm would do. I had a little thing we put together. It's called All Access Entertainment, and I only booked Puddle. I only did it because they were my friends. I didn't do it because I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
We definitely had no idea what I was doing, but caught on pretty quick and started doing the fun shit, making money, having fun.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What was the craziest story you have experienced with Puddle of Mud?
We were cruising in Lincoln, Nebraska, in the middle of the United States. And we were in this little bus thing that made us look cool. And we're driving, and then these girls are out in Wesley. We're driving, and guys will be guys. We were having a good time. We're in Lincoln. We hadn't done a whole lot of regional touring. And this is one of our first real trips, and the guys were like, yeah, hang out the window. We were promoting the show. We did a lot of guerrilla warfare. Like, we really came up with that whole beat the street, get out there and promote yourself type shit. Because we didn't have money, so that's what we did. So we were hanging out the window going, yeah, we got a show coming up, man. We're talking, and we're watching these girls, man, in a convertible. And there's three of them. They were hot, and the boys were going, yeah, screaming. The next thing you know, boom! Airbags blow up, smoke flies everywhere. They had been watching us in this bus, and we were yelling back at them. They were watching in front of them, and they're rearing in the vehicle, and we just kept going. Like, okay, hope they show up. But it was kind of weird. But it was funny to me. That's one of the most memorable things I recall.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, so I take that shit with me. That was fun shit. One of them I did. That was just the regular. That was one of the very beginning. One of the first. I started going out of town type stuff, and we always laughed about that for a lot of years.
Yeah. What can you tell us about Wes, Kenny, Jimmy, Troy, and Sean?
Wes, Jimmy, I can tell you what, they all are unique in their own way, and it was just a damn shame that no one could get along. They all wanted, at the end, what really came crashing down at the beginning. You're talking about the original. The original members was all over. I think it happened. They got big locally. We just kind of did. We got blessed, and as much as they are just all great individual guys, it's hard for them all to get along, And tell you, I don't want to I'm not doing a tell-all here. Nothing weird. I'm just saying Sean, it was a long-haired freak, just funny as hell. This guy's a comedian, really. These dudes just stand up. He was a plumber. The guy could, have his hand in the toilet one minute and have a sandwich in his hand the next and just talk like it's all good. He just freaked everybody out. But everybody had their own gig. Kenny was a welder guy. Kenny was real quiet, man. Probably the most. You hear the drum, and you hear Kenny drum. The guy was, he was on top of it. He was in his pocket. We call it the pocket type deal. He just doesn't stop. It just sounded awesome back there as a kid. But the group, they probably, for the group of guys, let me tell you something about it, they probably didn't, what a weird deal. They all got together, and honestly, Jimmy wrote some amazing lyrics, and Wes delivered them. But really, I don't think there's been a group like that since they, once they scooped Wes up. But, the band broke up. I don't know if you know how it really went down. They broke up. They didn't get along. As much as they all loved each other, and I say I have tattoos on my arm. Me on one side, the boys on the other. I always told them, I got your back. I got you under my wing. I'll always protect you. But some stuff you can't stop them happening,
Yeah.
They just, as much as they loved each other, at the end they just could not get along, and that's when you saw Troy come in because Sean had just made his exit. We all kind of saw that stuff coming. There's a ton of emotion wrapped up in when Wes had to do what he had to do. I probably made some mistakes. I did make some mistakes. I should have held them together better. And like, guys, but I just, you have to choose what you choose, and then when you make the choice, you gotta just hold on to that. You made it, live with it, die with it, whatever. But I forgot the question. I'm just kind of rambling. Honestly, it's been a long time. I mean, you're talking 20 years.
Yeah.
A lot's happened.
Over 20 years.
Yeah, well, you got to think about this. The boys started in 92, 93.
I think
they got
92.
signed. Yeah, then they got signed. You do know all this shit, but you're like, I don't want to give you exact dates. I do. He says himself, I forgot about. So I'm blessed to be able to listen to some of the stuff you throw out there. But no, the 7 years we were really doing it on our own before we got that lucky break. It was almost like a dream, because it was a real experience. Hate to say it, but I missed it, man. I wish we could go back and like just do it again, because
if you go back, can you take me with you?
Hey man, when I find that looking glass, that time machine they all talk about, this crazy conspiracy theory shit, if I find it, I would definitely I would show up somehow, Grant, because you are a Superman. And if I could make that happen, I would, man. But I love the guys, man. But you're right, they still can't get along. Kenny was always quiet. Kenny was always a really quiet guy who kept himself, but when he got behind the drums, he really was not quiet. He would express himself amazing.
Yeah, he's a great drummer.
Sean, on the other hand, just outlandishly, almost wear you out. Jimmy, again, when the time comes, Jimmy can turn it on, but Jimmy is very, he studies people. Jimmy's analytical, looking and always listening and paying attention, and he's taking it in. Jimmy probably out of all of them, I would say is probably the most well-rounded person as far as life goes, and thinking long-term. Wesley, he lives in the moment like a mug, man. Whew, that dude, but he makes his choices, and he lives in the bed that he makes, and I'm sure he's got some demons, like I know I do. I got a couple. They won't leave me alone at night. But I think everybody's going to be all right in the end. And we'll all see what's going to go down. It'd be great to have that time machine. Back to that. I'd love to have a time machine. It's super cool. Yeah, I think if you could get them all back together and keep Troy McCoy on bass, you might do that. There might be some magic there. Wesley is, here's the real deal, Max. And you didn't ask me this question. I'm going to tell you though. I'm not meaning this in a negative way, but without me and the things that I did, I really doubt that they would have been discovered. Now, Leishan made a CD. The boys broke up. Let me just tell you the story. Can I just tell you the story real quick of what happened, how it really happened, the honest truth from the heart?
Yeah.
I love those guys. Like, they were like brothers. We were all brothers. And it just, it's a jerk of it. It just tears at your heart. But anyway, they were done. There was an argument. It doesn't matter what was over. It was Wes and Jimmy, and they ended up fighting physically. Punching each other. And I had, they separated them. and it was over. You know, Wesley had taken off and went on the road with some stripper chick, and it was just a bad deal, and I couldn't really put it away. And you know, that was like the bad thing. Like, I just wasn't done. If that makes any sense. You know, I just had a kid coming, and I had a great job, but I just like, man, I just beat me up. Like, all these years we spent, and I didn't feel like it wasn't quite done. There was more. There was something just tugging at me saying, "You're not done yet." So, long story short, I got some tickets to a show, a family value show, and they were selling beer, and Wes was coming back in town or something like that, and he said, you know, I said, I'll get us a suite. Don't worry, man. I had some money. I spent like $1,500. Chuck Wood was the guy's name. We're a ticket master. AJ from The Rock, who's a great friend of ours, and hooked me up with him. I spent the money. I got a suite so we could have a keg of beer there. And kind of like whatever guy wanted to come. And I was just trying to get the guys together one last time to kind of give a hug and say, hey, we had some fun. And thanks. That was the real purpose of that. It wasn't to get her, but they did have a thing called Diamond in the Rough. Fred was looking for bands, you know, and so Patty was his mom. Somebody had told me, put these songs on a CD or something, because when I went to pick Wes up, he didn't want to go. I said, man, you bullshit. I had a big convertible van. I said, you're kidding. I'm coming to get you right now. He lived with his mom and dad. I said, I'm coming to get you right now. We're going to the show. I got Sean coming. Everybody's going. I just wanted all of us to get together not as a band. This is the friends, man. It's kind of say goodbye or whatever it was. And I wrote my number on the CD that Leisha she put it together anyway. Patty said, we're leaving the door. Patty goes, don't forget the CD. She goes to me. There's a blank CD. I had no name. So I wrote my name on it. I wrote Puddle of Mud and my home number. We didn't have cell phones. Weren't that big back then. It was a home number. So, yes. Anyway, the weird deal is we go to the show, and somebody snuck backstage or did something. Long story short, about a month later, my home phone rang, and I'm on top of the roof putting up Christmas lights, and my phone's ringing, and I think that's where I was at. I'm trying to tell you, I don't know what part of the story I left out. But my phone's ringing, and Wesley'd been calling me for it. I'd sent him some money here and there. Long story short, this phone number was different. I looked at my phone, and that's when he had caller ID these boxes, you know. I looked at it, 310, what the hell is this? It talks to the phone, get on the phone, and he says, hey, who's this? I said, who the fuck is this? Is this so-and-so? I'm like, yeah, right, dude. Why don't you eat a dick or something? I said something really mean, and I just hung up, because I just thought somebody was not joking with me. And no, it wasn't a joke, because within about 30 seconds, my phone rang again, and this guy was screaming at me, like, hey, don't you fucking hang up on me. I'm not playing. My name's Fred Durst. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? He said, this is Fred Durst from Black Biscuit. Who am I listening to? And he puts the phone up to the speaker. I can hear it, and it's a Puddle of Mud. And I about shit. I was like, uh-oh, I'm done. Messed it all up. Never even got off the ground, and the flight crashes, right? But no, it was amazing. He said, I want to send somebody in. I just love what I'm hearing. I'm all about it. And I thought it was a joke, you know. And so I called up Wesley, got in, flown into town. This guy was supposed to be here in 10 days. And believe it or not, the guys were like, they all jumped on it. Started practicing and really getting, like nothing, like no fight, like we were going to do this, right? But then he didn't show up. And my phone never rang, and nothing, you know. And it was like 2 months later, then we started arguing again. Everybody, you're a fucking liar. Wes's parents kick him out, tell him he's got to figure out what he's doing in his life, and they gave up. Everybody's telling me, you're full of shit. You didn't talk to Fred Durst, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, now the whole group's turning on me. Now I'm the bad guy. I don't want to let go, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just couldn't believe it. And I was having a bad day. I come back. I went to Harley Davidson, the factory. I was a quality guy at the motorcycle factory. But I come home one day, and my wife, my ex-wife now, but she was my wife at the time, she's, what's wrong with you? You're in bed with us? Yeah. Man, Fred Durst called. And I'm sure it was him, because the number was weird. And blah, blah, blah. So now the guy didn't show up. The guys are pissed at me. And man, just a bad time here. Everybody's upset. She says, well, why don't you just call him? Oh, yeah, right. You got, how many is his number? She goes, I wrote it down. We're big Limp Bizkit fans. You understand? I love Korn, Limp Bizkit. That was a shit, man. Woo. That stuff would get you rolling. And I said, you what? She said, I wrote the number down. I thought it was pretty cool if Dave called him. I said, get it to me. I called the number and I ripped it. I went up and down, probably about 2 minutes of rambling. Don't you mess up a person's life, ruin friendships, call me bullshitting around about something just because you're so busy, blah, blah, blah. You know what? About another 2 minutes later, my phone rings again and it's Fred. He was so excited. He'd given the CD away with my number on it. He was making copies, and the original had gotten given away somehow or lost, whatever. But he said, oh, my God, I can't believe you called me. Somebody's going to be there in 2 days. And by this time, the guys, nobody believed me. We had to throw just a couple. We just threw the weirdest shit. You wouldn't even understand how weird it was. Wesley was the original there. The Baron on guitar and some Pat kid on it. It was not the original band whatsoever. I mean, these guys were screwed up. They were practicing for a day and a half before Danny even showed up, and it was horrible. It was horrible. When Danny did show up, I picked up at the airport, brought him over. The band just kept stopping. Wesley did not stop. He played through all their fuck ups. King was off, and he hadn't played drums in a minute. Obviously, he's 100%. The other two guys, the guitar and the bass, were absolutely not even close to what should have been. But the guy did actually understand that Wes was Wes. And he said, man, that guy doesn't even belong here. I go, what do you mean? This ain't the same band. I go, you're right. I'm sorry. I ain't going to lie to you, man. Obviously, you know the gig is up. This is not the band. But that this is Wes. He said, yeah, man, that guy looks like he belongs in a whole different place than here. I said, well, yeah. So we went to my family's restaurant, broke some bread, and the guy, I think everybody kind of knew it, that because he goes, hey, why don't we ride in this car and let those guys all follow us? I'm like, really? Because I had like a Tahoe at the time and those different vehicles. And on the way down there, hey, he pulled out a contract right there. But without even, here, I got a deal for you right now, Wes. I'm ready. And we just looked at each other, what the hell? So Wes and I had to tell everybody at dinner table, we were eating food and, and talking. And it just kind of went from there. Wes and I went and got a fifth of Jack Daniels and sat in my basement. We drank it. Had about almost a whole clip. At about 4 something in the morning, he said to me, Dave, can we just sign this deal? And I said, what you want to do? He goes, I just want to go. I can't do anything else. I said, all I know, man. He was a pretty good hamburger cook, but that's about it. He needed to do what he was doing, but reality was, him and I put our name on that deal. We signed a contract, and we took it up there about 4:15 in the morning, knocked on the hotel door. Dude comes to the door in his underwear, and Wes said, and I quote you, he said, I do not care who you are. Take me and let me play music. Here's this contract signed. We both signed it. I gave it to him. And he said, you don't want lawyers to look at it? Are you okay with it? Wes said, man, if you're telling me you're going to let me play rock and roll, I'm signing that deal right now. And we'll deal with the rest of it. And the next day, Wes is gone. Never to return. Stayed very long at home, never again. It was that's how strange it was. It happened back, but it was really strange. But it was incredible at the same time. And right now, my stomach's still funny. I get goosebumps on mine. You can see it and freak out. That's the good stuff. That's like the real part of it.
Yeah.
But that's the honest truth of what happened. The band was gone. The band was broke up, and Wesley did, and he has held that. You got to give it up. People always talk shit like, well, he left everybody behind, and blah, blah, blah. No, really what happened is some other shit happened, and through that stuff, the only way this was ever going to work is if Wes left and did what he did. But he could have came back and did something different. I think he tried. When we were going to making that first record, it was really weird and long. It took like 18 months because Fredman built the band around Wes. It was kind of cool. But I seen drummers, Josh Freeze, some amazing drummers before Greg Upchurch came in. Amazing. I got to see it from the inside out. The Jim Henson Studios. I saw Ozzy and Alice Cooper. And some wild shit. You just can't believe it. You're like, this is really going down, man. But I'll have to give it to you, man. I'm going to have to tell you, Wes has held his own from that day. Now, it doesn't matter how you get somewhere, but when you get there, will you handle your business and get it done? And he has done that. I will say that no matter what anybody ever says about him, cocksucker, motherfucker, whatever they say, don't left me behind. Doesn't matter what I say or anyone, but he has done it 100% once he got there. It is a trip when shit, like when things like that happen. And people see these bands and up on stage. Everybody's got a story how they got there. And I will say, Puddle and Mud's super unique because it took if every person didn't do exactly what they were supposed to do when they did it in that moment in time, it wouldn't have never happened. Like, that's the weird part about it. Like, there's a story how people make it, and there's so many stories how people get lucky, but this one had to have, everybody had to play it just right, or it never would have came.
What's the story behind the symbols on the Stuck CD, and who is the fifth symbol on the back?
Oh yeah, now here you go. Okay, those are something that and you're gonna hear a different story from a lot of people, but I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. Alex was his name, the kid that worked at River City Studios, a friend of mine's mom. And you gotta remember, we were on a budget, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I had enough to make a record. But you forget how much it costs to have all this imagery done, and this, Photoshop, all the stuff that it takes to make a record. It ain't just the music; it's the artwork too, right? So the guys were all so different. It's like Southwestern tribal zodiac. It's supposed to be like, and it's kind of weird because the characters are just strange looking. But if you look on the front of that album, Stuck, you got 4 symbols. Each one of those represent a member of the band. And their, I guess, birth, whatever he was into, whatever he was doing, it was some type of, I could have swore it was, I think he said Southwestern tribal zodiac, like Indian, like astrology type stuff, you know what I mean, like zodiac.
Yeah.
And the one on the back, you want to know the honest truth, hey man, and I hope nobody gets upset and you're just keeping it real. I put myself on there because I'd worked my ass off, and I just felt like, hey man, I'm a 5th member of this band. I mean, no one may not have realized it, but I did, and I think the guys realized it. I was working hard, man. I put myself on there, man. I'm the squid. I'm the little sharp 21. Because, man, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, the guys, everybody's got their own story, but that's the honest truth. Is Alex was having some fun with it, and he said, what are we going to do for cover? And no one really had an idea. No real. I just said, man, just show us some stuff. Just get creative. And I gave him some information about each guy, and I thought it was going to come up with some really cool thing, but actually it's so simple, it actually turned out to be really cool. So, yeah, and then the 5th one on the back is me. And I'm sorry for that. The guys, I don't know if the guys even realized at the time. I think we talked about it, but we missed one person. We missed on there, Max. We should have put Scotty, Wesley's brother. He was just right in the trenches with us, man. I mean, and I don't think anybody ever talks about Scotty much, but he was right there in the trenches, not making a dime, just like me, sweating and getting after it, driving trucks. Scotty does his own thing now. He's out there in the public doing his speaking and motivational stuff, but back in the day, man, he would grind it, and he would get it done with me, and I should have, my mistake, I should have probably put Scott's in there too, but there was so much going on. We were all just living it, man. And back, like I said, there was no record deal then. It was just us. So we just slapping, trying to make a buck.
What is the best Puddle of Mud lineup in your opinion, and why?
Oh man. You want to say best lineup, like so it could be like the new at the old, or the whole 9 yards. So you're saying the best lineup would be Wesley, obviously, that doesn't make any sense out there. I mean, Wes absolutely got to be the front man. I think Jimmy and Paul, if anyone ever hears this shit, man, they're probably going to be mad. Paul's a great dude, but I don't think his heart wasn't there. Or maybe it was, but I don't know. It was kind of weird. But I think Jimmy, because he wrote those songs, probably deserved to be, had a shot at becoming that person. Because Jimmy can play the band. He can be that dude on any level. It doesn't matter. But he can write, man. That guy's, the way he puts that shit on paper out of his brain, that just, it's just good. It's sticky. His hooks are sticky, and Wes delivered him so good. Don't forget before we're done, you need to ask me one more question. Say, what about you, Scott and Wesley, on a stormy night? Don't forget to ask me that question, because I'm going to stay on track here. Don't forget to ask that. But the deal is, I think it's going to be Wesley on front man and obviously backup guitar. It'd be Jimmy on lead guitar and backup vocals, because he actually has some talent and can hold a note. Man, as much as everyone doesn't want to hear this shit, I think Doug Ardito, the bass player, Doug different, turned out to be a dick later, but fantastic bass player. I like Troy's personality better. I like Troy to beat it, but on that level, you got to be a professional. You got to do it. And then Greg Upchurch on the drums, because Kenny could be that guy, but I think that I don't think Kenny wants that spotlight. Kenny'd love just to play the drums and never have to be in the big spotlight. It's just not his place. I mean, I'd love to see Kenny as the main lineup, but I don't think he would ever do it. He'd be like, I don't like this people. He's not a people person. Kenny would be fine in a room with his drums and nobody fuck with him, type of guy. But you can't do that to be successful as a rock band. You've got to do every piece. You got to be out there for the people. But without the people, you got nothing. You got nothing. You can't live without the fans and buying your stuff. And if you don't get along with them, you're not going to make it. So, yeah, me as a businessman, I'll tell you from business. Now, if you wasn't a business person, you're saying we got all the money in the world, don't care about money, just play music, and you're getting paid no matter what. Well, fuck yeah, Kenny, Troy, Jimmy, Wes. Simple as that. But you're talking about a well-rounded group you're going to put out there in the public to try to make $1, and hopefully it works. It'd be Wes, Jimmy, Doug, Greg.
And what would you change if you could do it all over again?
If we could do it all over again, Rex, I would not have gone to prison. I would have represented myself some way, shape, or form, but no. Reality is this: if we could do it all over again, what would I change? I would take more pictures.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I would save them and make sure I tell the guys how much I really love them and how much I really care about what we're doing. I know it sounds like I'm being kind of homo-ish or whatever. People really, I mean, I did, and you understand. There's some real brotherhood there, and I don't think I know I probably didn't say it enough, man. And I've been out there with Wesley at the level he's at now. Like, man, dude, you can't go anywhere with him. People just freaked out. It's weird. I mean, I'll send you some pictures of him and I, just like a year or two ago out in L.A. It's just weird, man. You can't go anywhere with him because his privacy is done. He has no privacy left whatsoever. He goes somewhere, people immediately, hey, and he's signing shit, and then you can't really talk to him much. I mean, unless you're in a car going somewhere, then it's cool. But as soon as you get out of the car and people see it, it's over. It's really strange.
It's easy to recognize Wes. I mean, I notice it even if he has his hair hidden in his hat or... he's got those, what he calls it his what is it, double, what is that? He's got costumes. He always got some secret identity, right? Yeah, but I always recognize him because I know how he walks and moves and stuff, and sometimes he has his guitars on his back, and you just see there's a rock star running right there with 2 guitars on his back.
It's funny, man. I mean, we almost got arrested, like I said, like a year or two ago in Chicago. And if it wouldn't have been them recognizing him, we'd have been in some serious trouble. Serious. I'm not shitting you, man. Thank God he's recognizable because the cops were like, oh, yeah, it's cool. Now I realize who it is. I'm like, thank you, bro. Thank you so much. We're just stressing out, man. I'm so sorry. Wes jumped one of those turnbuckles at the train station, and we were late to the train, and we had to be. I think we were playing Notre Dame. It was a football. I don't know what it was. It was. I forget. It was just weird. And Wes jumped the thing because our thing weren't working at the train station. And I held a bag. I'm trying to keep going, and they were like, whoa, just freaked out, snatched him up, and I'm like, whoa, 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 you don't know what's in. I had to immediately, within about 30 seconds, I had to explain, hey man, total sorry, here's the tickets, blah blah blah. But see, again, Wes he doesn't realize, man, that doing something that small and it could get you in a lot of trouble. He's a free spirit, man.
I know.
Kind of like, I love him, you know. That's why we do different. I would make sure I tell him, hey man, I'm serious about this. I love you, dude. You're my bro. Please don't listen to the world because they're clouding you. These people, man, they just like everything in the world, man. They divide and conquer. They do it to us as a population right now. They're dividing us and they conquer us. And that's what the record business or the industry kind of did to Wesley, is they separated him from everybody that loves him and truly would care about him. And then they kind of took advantage of him. And, you know, he survived because that's the way he is. I mean, he does. That's what he does. Every rock star loves him. I mean, I'm not shitting you, man. I mean, I saw famous people want to talk to Wesley, and that was just weird to me. I'm like, why is this is so cool, you know? He actually blends in. This is what he does. It's his life. And I wasn't prepared for that. When I got out there and saw the way that people, it blew me away. I was like, wow, I guess I didn't realize how big he really got and blew the fuck up. It really did well because, I mean, it was just cool to see, you know, and we were just trying to be regular guys and sneak into this place and eat some food. And as soon as we sat down, it was like, bombarded. And they're like, oh, shit. But I could see some pictures. We were at the Hollywood. We did the Stars and the Walk of Fame. And we had Sophie, his dog, with us. Wesley has a dog, Sophie. He just loves the dog.
Yeah.
And we had her with us the whole time. And people just were like, oh, look at that. It was fun. We had a good time out there. It was cool. I get jealous of you sometimes because you guys spend a lot of time together. You're like, you know, I'm really happy for it. And that's awesome because he doesn't do that with a lot of people. I'm telling you right now. You obviously struck a chord somewhere in his little heart because I never see him do the things like he does with you, ever. I just don't. So enjoy that because he's a silly son of a bitch. He's a good dude.
Well, I think he has a pretty big heart. He loves everybody.
Yeah, he does. He really does. Wes has got nothing but I mean, he does love everybody, every person. I mean, I've never seen him be judgmental, a dirty bum, a rich person. I've never seen him be like, hey, man, Dave, fuck that guy. Let's move. He always stopped. We were in that L.A. deal. He'd stop for every single person. He would not blow anybody off. It was pretty cool. But I was getting tired of it. We were Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm like, come on. He's like, hey man, hold on, there's a couple more people.
I mean, I'm always at the venues earlier than the band even, so I see them arrive, and sometimes he invited me backstage also to listen to sound check and stuff. And basically, sometimes after he gets out and goes back to the hotel, there were like people waiting outside, and he signed autographs for them for like 15-20 minutes all the time.
Yeah, I'm serious. He realizes that what he's doing is special. You know, he's really been blessed.
What is your opinion of the current members in Puddle of Mud?
Okay. I'm going to keep it 100% real with you. The bass player and the guitar player, I couldn't recognize them. I don't even know their names. That's the sad part about it. I never really had a chance to because it's been kind of weird with us, Mags. Dave Marino, I don't know him that well, but you know he's been super. How do I say? He's made life a little easier for me because there's been some times I had to go to Wesley, and I just had something on my mind I wanted to get through them, and Dave has always done me solid, and he's always passing it along, or you know, hey, I told him, or whatever, man. That dude is. I gotta say, he don't have to even reply to me, so I'm nobody to him, but he has, so I'm so grateful that a few times I needed to talk to Wesley or stuff was happening, maybe Wes needed me or whatever, that dude, man. He believes. I think, being honest truth, I think they're making a little comeback. I mean, I just saw him on a show, Ridiculousness or something. Wesley's great. He looks great. I think that these guys have all been together for several years, haven't they? Like the current lineup, haven't they been together?
Yeah, I think since 2014.
Yeah, that's a minute, man. That's like 6 years. That's a pretty good stretch for the same guys. Because, that's hard to do. That's like, but Wes is straight now. I think Wes is sober. I think he's sober, or whatever there was being bad and hindering his ability to make good choices. I don't think he's doing that anymore. Whatever that was. I don't care what sober sobriety is to everybody else, but I think sobriety and making good choices are the same. You can do whatever you want. Smoke a lot of weed, just make good choices. The world we live in today is a messed up place. Everybody has to do, at least in my opinion, we all need something to cloud or to make this weird place manageable or livable or make it to where we want to be here with our loved ones and stuff, right? So everybody needs something. You can't just do nothing. I mean,
I do nothing.
So, well, no, you make good choices though. So you make good choices. You decided to jump into the band thing, and you're 100%, man. I swear to gosh, you say shit. I've heard some of your little interview things. You blow my mind because I don't know how you knew this shit, but you do, and it's cool because I forgot a lot of it.
Well,
So,
I just talk to everybody and try to find out everything and try to learn everything, good and bad.
Wow. Yeah, good and bad, man. Yeah, because, let me tell you something. Western family, man, they can love you and they can hate you. And then they can love you again and they can hate you again.
Oh, I know. Blake hates me.
Well, that's just for now. They'll come out of it, trust me. Everybody does. Everybody comes out of it. I would tell the guys, hey, man, I love you. Thanks for the good times. We might not be here forever, but while I'm here right now, this is awesome. Smile for the cameras, taking them pictures. So cool. So our kids, so our little ones would be like, wow, you guys are doing some cool shit. It's kind of weird. I got this platinum records and stuff Jimmy and Wes gave me, and my kid always asks me, I got a 6-year-old daughter, I'm 50, man, I'm old, and she's always like, what is this mother of pud? I'm like, baby, first of all, don't say it wrong. It's a puddle of mud, okay, honey, and it's a band. She's like, well, what did you play? I mean, I didn't play nothing, okay, but this is funny. My daughter has no clue. She has no idea. She will someday, though.
So, what are you doing in life nowadays? And do you miss the time you had around Puddle of Mud?
Man, I knew you were going to ask something weird like that. I knew it was going to be weird. Honest truth, I do what I do. I'm in sales. I'm into construction. I sell construction jobs. I'm not even in the music business anymore. I can't say I was. I was trying to be. I'm a buddy. I try to be a good friend. But I am actually homeschooling my daughter right now. Just this COVID, this whole pandemic shit. My better half and I are taking turns. Obviously, she's doing most of it. I shouldn't make that shit up. I am being the best daddy I can be to my 6-year-old daughter, and I'm working in construction. I do heating and cooling, put air conditioners and heater in people's houses, and I miss that shit so bad. You have no idea. I actually miss the camaraderie. I miss the friendships. I miss the guys that, when you got a friend that pretty much knows what you're thinking. It's a special deal that people nowadays don't have that. Like, we all got, the whole world's totally fucked. Excuse my language, I hope nobody gets upset about that, but I'm saying, nobody really cares about anybody else. And you know what? When we were doing this, Max, the only reason I was doing it, because I felt like I was part of something bigger than me. I didn't have kids then. I had a wife, and we had a house, I had a job, but, I had friends, man. I had, true brothers that I knew, at least I believe would have died for me, and I definitely would have died for them.
Okay,
But guess what? You ready for the freebie? You ready for this one I told you about?
Yeah?
Here's the deal. Wesley was good. Wes had the look. He always did. But something happened. He just didn't. I don't know if he just didn't believe in himself, or I don't know what it was. He just didn't. He was playing guitar. He was trying, but he wasn't that great. Here's the deal: Kurt Cobain died. Okay, Kurt Cobain died. It was a big deal. That was like huge to us. That same day. This is how weird Scotty and Wesley and I were. This is how weird we were. We used to smoke a lot of pot. Back then, it wasn't legal, but it was pot everywhere we smoked. Anyway, we got all ripped up, and we did a seance. Scotty and I did, and Wes laid on the floor, and we lit candles and everything, and Scott and Wes and I. Wesley laid still, didn't say a word. Scott and I were like, I don't know what the hell we're mumbling stuff, Kurt Cobain, and we would like your talents, we'd like to have your, what gifts you were given to please be transferred into Wesley, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I forgot how we said it, but we said it, and then the candles got all weird, and we all looked at it, and then Scott and I looked at it like, holy shit, what just happened? That was like weird, because it did that, honestly, man, I promise you, if you ever talk to Scott, ask him, he'll tell you, the candles like got really weird, really tall and flickery and lower and got little, it was just bizarre. And all we were saying was, please give Wes the tools and the things the gifts that you were given, Kurt, please let Wes have them now, let him bond. And to this day, Wesley's brother Scott tells me, man, I wish we wouldn't have done that. Because he's got some demons he's fighting. We put them demons in him. I'm like, no, it ain't that at all. It's just, but I really don't know. I mean, who knows? Wes is the only person that can tell you that it really worked. But I will say this, he woke up that next day, and the dude could sing like you would not believe. He believed in himself. Either A, he believed in himself, B, that weird shit worked, or C, a little bit of both. I don't know. But I do know that something happened, and look where Wes is. I mean, his life's different, man. It's totally different.
I wonder what would have happened if things hadn't gone the way it did.
Isn't that weird? I mean, I know that they would have been a great local band, because we were.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't know them.
Yeah, exactly. You would have never met them, but we'd have still been chilling. Man, we were making $3,000 to $4,000 a show, and that's like local. I mean, but I was doing deals with like the beer people in the bar. I was talking to the bar owners, and I was like, let's get a percentage of the door and a percentage of beer sales, and we won't charge you anything, But anybody else would be like, I want $2,000, and we don't promote the show. But we would actually go out and hit the streets with tons of. Jimmy's dad had a print company, so we would use Jimmy's dad's business to print all these flyers. I mean, 1,000 flyers. We'd go out and pass them out ourselves, and we would wear ourselves out, making sure everybody knew where we were playing, when and why they had to be there. That was before the internet, before all this shit. Look, we were doing it guerrilla warfare style, and we were that's what we did, So it's just different, man. Times has changed so much, Our jobs as humans, I think, in this world are to communicate with one another, express ourselves to each other, get along, and try to help each other out. The love will overcome everything. If you just got to stay the course, man. You got to truly love and don't be fakey. I'm talking, you got to love people, even if you don't know them or you don't love everything about them. They got to know you love them. That's what we're here for, Max. We're here to make each other's lives tolerable.
Want to know a funny fact? It took me 4 years to get all the Puddle of Mud autographs. hey, man, what did you just say now? It took you 4 years because you did it. You got it. Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
I mean, the first one, Wes's, I already got in like 2016, like a few months after I became a fan, because basically Matt, the current guitar player, brought my shirt backstage to Wes, who was like doing an interview with an interviewer from Slovakia, and he signed the shirt backstage, and Matt brought it back. And so Wes's autograph was pretty much the first one I got, and then I got Sean's because a fan and friend. No, a fan and friend who lives in Missouri, and I think Emma Mosley band was playing there. So he signed a concert ticket for them, and they sent me that ticket.
Yeah.
Like late last year, I got Jimmy's autograph on the Against All Will CD.
Yeah, that's a great CD.
And then this February, Kenny finally sent an autograph because I basically printed out a picture of him and mailed it to him and put an envelope with my name and address on it so he can mail it back.
Oh my God. But he did do it, Don.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I love him. Kenny's a great dude. I really did. Kenny was...
He really wrote a sweet autograph. I'll show it to you when we're done talking here.
Well, no, Kenny always would sign like a cross and then 2 little drumstick like deals. He would always do a...
Yeah, he does that little drumsticks in his signature.
Does he still do that?
Yeah.
Oh man, see, how do I know that shit? Tell me that. Isn't that weird? I remember we were just believe it or not, the guys, people used to be like, hey, it was a weird deal. They used to say, who your truck? And they were this was before record deal. This was when it was just Sean and Kenny and Jimmy and what. It was weird, but I remember Russell would do this big crazy S thing and whatever, and Jimmy was always real tight penmanship with those pointy things, and Kenny would always put little drumsticks, little circles and little drumsticks, and I was like, that's pretty cool, dude. That's pretty dope. But, yeah, but sure. You got all the autographs. That's awesome.
And Troy's autograph I got on the Kuka CD, which Jimmy and Troy made, like, in 1998.
Yeah, that was after the big fight, the big breakup. First actually had a band called Cutout, and Cutout was, and it was hard. It was like hard. Like, Jimmy was singing that thing. I think they were a 3-piece. They had a really dude. It was 8 Degrees. It was a drummer. Shit, what was his name? It doesn't matter, but he was a great little bitty drummer. It was a 3-piece. They were called Cutout, and then they went to Cooker or or something. But Jimmy stayed in it, man. I can tell you this. Jimmy still writes. Jimmy still is doing. Jimmy's got a killer studio, and dude did it right. He's got more music shit. You would just be shocked if you went to Jimmy. You'd be blown away. He stayed in the business. Everybody, Wes and Jimmy stayed in the industry and stayed hard for doing it the whole time. We went out on tour. Jimmy, I actually did. I actually helped Jimmy. He went on tour with Against All Will. We did a whole regional up West Coast, all the way over from Oregon, Washington State, Portland, all the way over to Syracuse, New York, and we were all over the country, man, Jimmy, and I really thought he came out, they charted, Against All Will came out, charted, I thought they were going to blow up, but it didn't. I mean, something happened with the singer, I don't know, but Jimmy has always known that there's an opportunity that it could strike at any minute, stay in the game, and that's the cool part to see. I'm proud of him, man. I really appreciate you calling me and doing this. It was almost therapeutic to me. I don't know, that sounds weird, but it really was. I'm hoping I could put some of this stuff away and be like, it wasn't, I'm grateful. I really am so blessed to even be a part of it. I love all of them, man. It's just, we're just people. People make mistakes. We all fuck up. It's those of us that actually can admit it and try to learn from it and grow. I love it. That's the real winner. We win when we do that. I'm just now learning that. At my age, I'm just now learning. You gotta forgive people and you gotta love them, because love is it's the strongest, most amazing. It's a power. You know what? I was thinking one day, I was reading some of the stuff you put out there, and you know more shit about Puddle than most of us guys that were there in conception. It's kind of weird, but cool, really cool. I call you what was that? You're a super fan,
Yeah, I am. Well, of the originals, anyways.
You are by far the most knowledgeable, and the most vocal, and the most active Puddle Nut fan on the planet.
I try to be.
No, I mean, you know what? No matter what happens in this life, I'm going to tell you right now, if I could make a trophy or whatever it takes to give to you, a ribbon or something, I would. That's a pretty cool title, man. You're the super fan, number one fan. That's a big deal. To me, it's an honor. I would be glad to have that honor. Yeah. I've never spoke with you on the phone. We've done a lot of texting, if you recall, over the years that I've known you. And it's nice to talk with you. It really is. And I probably have never said it, but I do appreciate you, even though some of those days I was like, Mags, I don't want to talk about Puddle and Mud right now. Don't want to talk about it. So I appreciate you staying true and making me, because it really was. And I think this whole thing you did me today was really therapeutic. It helped me realize that how lucky I was to be part of that, man. How blessed I was that people did take my friends and love them and did good.